All right, we'll call the Price County Forestry and Parks Building and Grounds Committee meeting to order. Meredith.
Good morning. Michelle Drobnik.
Here.
Jeff Hallstrand.
Here.
Jason Hastings.
Here.
Jordan Spacek, are you remote?
I am here.
Okay, thank you. And Patricia Steven.
Here.
Thank you.
All right. Public comment or communications? Anybody have anything?
Just
Patty?
question communication. With the 250th patriotic year, my family does the reunion out at the pavilion, and they want to hang some patriotic banners, and we won't use nails. So we're going to try and put something out there. Is that something the county would consider purchasing and doing for the whole year? Or should we just do it ourselves in June? That's a thought bubble.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do it when you're out there, that's great. Joel, you have anything?
I did have a couple of calls, just on questions on selling county land. I think we'll have probably one person come in with a proposal on some stuff down on the southern end of the county next to the Jump River. So that'll be
Interested in selling to us or wanting to buy a piece?
wanting to buy. So then the way land sales work for county forest law stuff is it's got to be for the good of the state, not just the county. So it's got to pass through the county, and then also the state would have to approve as well. So it's got to be a pretty good deal.
Reason?
Yeah, I mean, for on our end, it's kind of one of those things where what I've been told is the offer has to be pretty painful for them. So
An agenda item?
No, this is just informational public comment that he received from somebody.
Okay.
Anything else? Joe? All right, moving on to minutes from our December 2nd meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by Michelle,
A second.
second by Jason. Any other discussion? None being heard. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Our next meeting date will be April 7th, so we will have one on that day.
That's election day.
That doesn't matter.
I mean, it's an important day, but it doesn't.
Huh?
We still have.
Yeah, yeah, it's election day, yeah. I agree. Is there anything set up in this room? Okay, we'll be here. That's when our spring timber sales are, right? Yeah, and the extensions, yeah. All right, buildings and grounds, Josh.
Morning.
Project updates.
All right. I know it's been a while since I guess I've been in one of these meetings. It's been since November, I believe. So it's been a few months, but the majority of that has been mostly snow removal, I would say. So I guess to preface this, if I can skip ahead to like the department update, I actually had one employee that broke his arm in December, so he was out December and January. He was one of our maintenance guys, so he helps with snow removal, plus he cleans at the sheriff's department. So we were down him, and we're short a custodian at the highway department for the winter. So we're covering down cleaning on those offices also. So I just wanted to preface that with haven't gotten into any big projects, I guess, for the that and end of the year budget, whatnot. So no big projects to really cover. But otherwise, I guess normal quarterly PMs are complete. And like I said, snow removal, a lot of minor repairs to the equipment. We replaced one of the actuators on the grasshopper sweeper. That's starting to get a little outdated. That actuator itself was like $1,300, but trying to milk that out for another few years, I guess. But otherwise, just kind of, I'll go through some of the stuff we've been working on at the different buildings. For the courthouse, the Jace has been updated. We talked about that a while back. That's the computer system that I use to keep track of all of the HVAC, the whole HVAC system. It's been consolidated. We've been working on this for several months. It's been consolidated, so I can see now everything from the normal building, courthouse, highway, exactly what's going on from room to room with temperatures and mixing boxes and to the boilers, to everything. So that still a few kinks that we're working out, but I would say that's about 90% complete. Also for the courthouse, we've been dismantling the third boiler as time permits. I think I talked to you guys about that before. It's an old boiler that was taken out of commission a couple years back, and it's quite a process to dismantle that and get that out of there. Let's see, we repaired some elements in the water heater in the basement here. So that's back up and running. And I just ordered a new recert pump for the basement air handler. That went out on us here in the last few months, and that's not a huge project. We're taking care of that in-house, but that should be here today. And we're getting ready to paint hallways and wax hallways. That's kind of our next big project, I guess, coming up here. So that's it for the courthouse. Normal building is just minor repairs over there, plumbing, painting, lighting. We did run some Cat 6 for panic buttons in some of the offices. And the health department had some grants for furniture replacement for like the WIC office. So we got that ordered, got new furniture in there, put together. The old furniture ended up going up to the Park Falls office, to the outreach office up there. So kind of swapped some of that around. But otherwise, that's it for the normal. Sheriff's Department, back in November, we had some huge plumbing repairs. I don't know if everyone remembers that. Plumbing that was going through the evidence room and some other places around the basement of the department over there. So yeah, November that all got repaired, and we finished off the ceiling in the squad room, lights and drop ceiling for that. We were waiting for the plumbing to get done for that. We've had some problems with the humidifier or the climate control in the server room over at the Sheriff's Department. The climate's fine. It's the humidity that TJ and I have been working on. There's a canister, the humidifier canister, that needs to be replaced almost yearly. And it keeps the humidity in that server room at a constant, should be at like 40%, with just keeping static at a minimal, for all the equipment. So TJ and I are working on that right now. Otherwise for the jail, just minor plumbing repairs. We replaced the motor in the dryer and replaced a security door mechanism, one of the blocks that failed on us. So that's about it for the Sheriff's Department. Highway Department replaced the motor in the RTU for the main office there. That heating system went out for the for Rogers kind of area and the ladies in the main office. So we got that motor replaced. We have a couple radiant heating units that we need to replace yet for the garage part of it. We'll be doing that here in the next few months. And we'll be re-roofing the sign shed out there. And we did repair some venting at the airport furnaces also. So that was the radiant ones. Yep. So basically that covers a few of the things that we've been up to, I guess.
Josh, which offices got the panic buttons?
VA's office and one of their conference rooms.
Yeah, almost all offices have them. These were
Yeah,
just
just
rewiring or relocating.
yeah.
What does the panic button do?
Goes directly to 911. So, and then we have a system in the 911 center. It's like a ticking marquee. And so if any one of our phones calls it, it'll say, extension 5138 was mine. It'll say Nick Trimner's office, panic button was pressed. Or if I call 911 and hang up, it automatically shows, and then they see it in their squad room, or well, that's not the squad room, but
Alerts,
like
dispatch, and I think it goes right to the squad cars too, I believe.
there's several of us that get an automatic text and an email, and so they get tested often, and I am on the test group, but I don't realize it's a test sometimes. And so you're like, oh, there's a panic button going off in wherever. And so then I wait for the call, but usually TJ calls. So, oh, it was just a test.
Oh,
Okay, we got a couple other items here. Number 6 is concrete park heating alternatives. Did we come up with any ideas there?
You want me to start?
So I looked into it. You can interject. there.
Yeah. So before Josh kind of gets into where we ended up on this, I was approached by a board member on the Friends of Fred Smith. So it's our building. They run the programs there, and they run the buildings. So one of their board members said at one of their board meetings, they were talking about alternative heat options because the costs of electric heat. So that's when we brought Josh in just to look at what the options were, and he can kind of update you on what those were.
So that building there, it's if you know which building we're talking about, it's a studio in back. It's a rectangular, just simple layout, 1,700 square feet. Right now it's heated with, there's a main area there that they use for
Activities.
activities. There's a little kitchenette area, so it's somewhat open. There's a bathroom, utility room, and then there's 2 offices. One is Ann's main office, I guess, for her. But yeah, 1,700 square foot building. So it's pretty, it's not very big at all. And it's all heated with electric heat. And so small electric baseboard heat for the offices. And then the main area is heated by Steffen's ETS units, which is an electric thermal storage unit. So it's still electric, but how those work, there's 3 of them in there, and there's ceramic bricks inside of this unit. And so it's designed to be economical, and it heats up these bricks on the off hours or the off peak hours for the electric company. So at night it heats up these bricks, and then it uses that heat during the day. So it's not it's very maintenance friendly, pretty efficient, and they work pretty decent. So when I was out there looking at those, also noticed that one of them was not working. Looks like it's working because the controls run off of 120, but the heating elements actually run off the 240. So it wasn't heating, but it was just looked like it was on. So actually I repaired that over the last few weeks. So that's up and running, but it was running off of it was heating decently off of just the 2, but now we have 3 back up and running. So that's what they have now. And so looking at what we could go to, the problem with that is we have natural gas that goes up from Excel, that goes up to the main house that's right off of the highway 13 there. But there's no gas that runs back to this studio building or the garage. So you'd have to get, if you're going to go to gas, you'd have to get a separate tank, I guess, back there. LP you'd probably have to do. You could do, if you went to gas, you could do more of a residential unit, but now you're running all new duct work. because, with just the electric, there is no ductwork there. We could go split units, ductless split units. But with all that said, you're really not gaining much of anything. Efficiency wise, maybe a little bit, but how much would you make up in the long run, I guess? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
By the time you put all that into it. So I guess after talking with Ann about it, I think the best deal would be to kind of table this, keep it in mind for future, but as long as these units are working good, we'll keep them running. When I look back on how much we're really spending, because I guess Nick, you might know a little bit more about this. We pay for 6 months out of the year there, through the winter months. But for when I look at, I've got a readout here if anyone wants to look at it. It averages about $350, I would say, a month in electric. So and that's for heating and for the lighting in that building. So not terrible. Like I said, how much would you really gain with going to a gas system? Hard to say,
Yeah, and we've made some other upgrades up there. So we did a drop ceiling, which when talking to Ann, it sounds like that has helped maintain the heat better or differently. So they appreciate that. We could look at some window coverings. So in the winter, it just, not that they're bad windows, but little things that might help to offset. But it doesn't sound like there's a great option that would change the way we look at how we're spending to heat it.
Yeah.
The only thing we did ask is if we went to the split units, what's it like in there in the summer? Because then with the split units, you could have heat and air conditioning. But I don't think it wouldn't save them anything, right? It's going to cost more. And usually, and I don't know, Joe, if you guys go out there more in the summer, it actually doesn't get warm in that because it's quite shaded. It doesn't have a lot of direct sun window heating there. So as far as a building out there, it's not actually too bad. And I think Ann has said the same thing when you talk to her. It's not like, oh my gosh, we can't use this for gatherings in the summer because it gets too hot. So,
Well, if you got that one other unit working, that probably was
part of the problem.
part of the problem. So I agree. Let's just not.
It's just an update.
Yeah.
And mostly it was just an update because their board had, asked to.
Right. Alan
Consider
actually brought
something.
it up at our last board meeting.
Yep.
So,
Is it not warm enough for them or what?
Well, that was one of my questions. Yeah, are we having trouble? And Ann does a good job of turning those down to try to save on,
Their costs.
some costs. So I talked to her about that a little bit. Fixing that one should help quite a bit. Like I said, the two of them kept up decently. It was never too cold in there. But I don't think that was the main problem of it being too cold. I think it was kind of at what point do we start talking about upgrading or
Yeah.
or having to do something with the system?
I had asked where this conversation happened or why at their board. And I think it was more of just, and I never got a direct answer, but I think it was just, they saw one bill and it was the coldest month, right? So you're heating it, or somebody put something in at their home and was like, whoa, I got way more efficient by putting in a new system. So I think it was just them talking more than requesting anything, but we looked into it. And it's what we do with all our buildings. We watch for maintenance, we look for efficiencies and
Try to think down the road and
long term. Any questions on that?
all right. Courthouse electrical panel, that's been here forever.
Yeah, so Josh got me some information on the panel and we started working up an RFP. So we do have a request for proposal. It's not ready for public viewing, but the couple things we're talking about, it just in the RFP, what'll go out is the basic of replacing that. It's a 1200 amp service, the phases, what we're hoping to have done. It has to be done on weekend or evening, starting on Friday evening, because we can't, we're a facility that has to have power. When we talked to individuals that would do this, they figured it would be about 8 to 12 hours of an outage. So when we wrote it up, we kind of said what kind of breaker or what panel type we want. The two things that we added in as alternatives. So we know we have to replace the general panel with a like product, but two things that we are asking for alternatives that eventually the county will have to decide if they want to pay for. It would be bidding on alternative one, which was remote monitoring. So that way, wherever Josh is, he can see if the power's on, off. He would get alerts if there was generator would kick in, or if there was surges, would meter it. Alternate two would be surge protection. So it was just something somebody mentioned, where do you put something in that's the surge protector on the panel rather than at all the end users. So those were the two alternatives that we're going to bid out. Doesn't mean we'll choose them. Is there anything that you guys can think of that you'd want to see bid out with this project? They'll have to have a performance bond. They'll have to have all the certifications. It's just a normal bid. It's nothing fancy. So we're hoping to, the biggest issue we're seeing right now is the timing of the equipment. So for the couple people we've talked to, what we've seen online, it could be up to 18 to 36 months to get the piece of the panel itself. So that would be the biggest holdup at this point. Takes about 3 months, 2 months to bid it or to do the RFP. And then we still have to approve it through executive for the funding and as a whole
Didn't we
board.
approve like $180,000 in funding at one
You
point?
recommended, did we do the resolution? I don't think we did anything.
I thought we did something.
There was a recommendation to move forward with some, but it'll ultimately, once the RFP happens, we'll have to approve the funding as a full board. So
Well, our vulnerability is not getting any less.
Right.
So I mean, I guess get the RFP together and get it here so we can approve putting it out.
Yeah, and you guys don't have to approve the RFP. We know we're doing a project. We're just updating you on what it would be.
Okay. All right.
But again, Josh and I have worked on it a couple times now, and we're nearing an end to get it out in the newspaper, and we'll solicit too. So we'll send it to some of the larger, we'll send it to electrical companies that would do this type of work so that we get as many competitive bids as possible.
Yeah, I think the sooner the better. Get it taken care of so we don't lose that other part and scramble. Take out half the server room upstairs or something.
It's all back or all on backup power.
You guys have contacted some companies to gather the info for the RFP and stuff. I think you mentioned, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked with two different groups to kind of just get an idea of what we should be looking for in an RFP.
Any other questions for Josh before we move on? Get your snowplow out. Come on.
It's not over yet, right?
It's not over yet. It's basketball tournament.
And I'll go back to we'll go back to the snow removal equipment. So Josh did mention we replaced some stuff on one of our brushes, but really that's a lawnmower that we use as a brush in the winter. So right now what we're looking at, I'm working with Josh to say, we know that lawnmower I think is 10 years, 12 years old, or that piece of equipment. It's getting to age where it would be a replacement, but we're kind of looking at, is there a better piece of snow removal equipment that we can replace it with and then keep the lawnmower as a lawnmower, because it's probably less of the abuse that we put on it. It's really the winter months because you're bouncing and doing everything. So could that lawnmower last, 5 more years as a lawnmower, but then we could get an actual piece of snow removal equipment that doesn't get beat the same way just a brush on front of a lawnmower would get. So we've kind of tasked Josh for looking, is there a better alternative for sidewalks and just that the nooks and crannies, I guess, because we have the large plow that we use for the big parking lots, but just something that would be more can do better for the employee because it is cold and it does not have heat. And on those real cold days, it's probably not the best, but something that would work better for the sidewalks and the situation we have.
Yeah, it's a balancing act because like those lawnmowers, every winter you take the mowing deck off and we've got two lawnmowers. One has a brush and then the other one has a snow blower. And so those get changed over for the winter months and they get used all winter long. And they're starting to get up there in age, but they're very good mowers. And they're pricey nowadays, so once I start looking into the sweepers like this and you start to have to put a little, replacing sprockets on them and chains and now we just had to replace this actuator. And that was one of the things that I looked into where I started to look for this actuator and it's $1,300. And it's like, okay, at what point do you
Just buy a new brush.
Well, yeah, exactly. But now the brushes are $7,000, so it's like, and I don't know if Jim, can you milk that out for a couple of years where now we have to buy we're looking at buying a new mower and can you get a better deal with buying a mower and implement equipment with it? Can you get more of a package deal? I don't know. So that's kind of one of the things that.
You don't have a skid steer in your department?
No,
Not
we
anymore.
used to, and then we got the tool cat.
The skid steer was just barely enough, like width wise, to do the sidewalks where this toolcat is just a little bit too wide. But I think what we're looking at really comes down to that abuse all winter. So even if you did stretch it out and now you got a package deal that does lawn and winter maintenance, you're really beating up that piece of equipment because it wasn't meant to do that. That's not what its one focus is that snow removal. So is there something better that would last longer, be more efficient in the winter, equipment would be easier to maintain type thing. So that's what we're just looking at. Cause like Josh said, the lawnmowers are good, but the more you beat them up with snow, the more you got to replace both of them. So, or that machine.
Okay. Anything else for Josh before he goes? You're welcome to stick around if you want, or you can go. Be productive. Thanks. All right, Forestry and Parks, Joel. Tim's Hill Weather Station request.
Yeah,
That's this picture right here.
yeah. I included the email from the guy. He runs a nonprofit network of automated weather stations. He's trying to get them on the highest points in the state, in different states. Has a couple out, I guess. I did look at their website. It's kind of just every day it records throughout the day kind of deal and gives weather updates, I guess. He wants to put it up on Tim's Hill. The unit itself is just that small unit mounted on a pole.
Is he looking to put it up on the tower or where is he?
He wants to. I guess I would suggest that he buries a post and then puts it on a post, not on our tower. Because I don't want him hanging off the tower to put a weather station. Probably. I don't personally have a problem with the weather station thing, but part of having a guy hang off the side or whatever is kind of. But and then plus then you have people maybe trying to mess
Grabbing
with
the
it
whole
too.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're better off saying, yep, go ahead, but put it off to the side. But
Is that
something
old
like this.
DNR tower still alongside there?
Yeah.
Do we own that now or is it still
Still theirs.
theirs?
Yeah. They were supposed to remove it, but
I thought they were removing it several years ago.
yeah, that's kind of on a holding pattern. I don't know. The last update was they didn't know when. So, but something like this needs to be approved by committee if we want to allow that to be there or not. So,
I don't see any problem with it. Just a matter of where we put it. I'm sure he's looking to get it above the tree line. So that he can say, oh, wind gusts at 60 miles an hour on top of Tim's Hill or something.
Yeah, it's pretty open up there now with when we open up around the tower too. So it'll get
Then it may be a little bit opener after we discuss the next item. Well, I don't know if we need a vote, need a motion to approve the guy, yeah.
Yeah, the 15-year plan for something like this, that committee approval is needed. So
Okay,
He's taking care of all upkeep and installation and all that. Nothing's on us, period.
right.
Yeah, then I make a motion to approve.
okay, a motion by Michelle. I think that was
Maybe he's got a cage to put it in. I don't know.
yeah,
Up to Joe's jurisdiction. How's that?
I agree. I say we leave that up to Joe, where it gets mounted.
It's exactly what I said.
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay, got a second by Patty. Jordan, you still there?
I'm still here
Okay, we're just quieter than normal.
because I'm on mute.
Oh, okay. All right, is there any other discussion on it, other than we wanna just make, we approve it and Joe will take care of it?
I don't
Okay,
have, I don't have an issue with it.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Okay, Joe, that's in your court.
Merry Christmas.
Tim's Hill timber sale. Oh, the natives are gonna be restless.
Yeah, I would rather not as well. But so I had Kyle go down a little while ago and just kind of take inventory of what we have down there, just because there's a pretty large percentage of ash down there. And with ash borer, well, it's west of Phillips and Park Falls, whatever. It's kind of starting to triangulate around here. If it comes into the park and then we have all those dead trees, it's going to be really a nightmare, because then we're sitting there cutting them on, and trying to take care of them. So cleaning trails and just whatever the safety aspects. So I bring this to here just so you guys are kind of aware that the plan is going to be to set one up down there, and we're probably just going to go through basically the whole park. It'll be 130 acres probably of a thinning, and we'll take the ash and then anything that's high risk type stuff as far as safety concerns. And that's kind of about what we're going to do, because it's a park and we want to keep it looking like a park. But it's something that I think probably got to get ahead of, so we're not dealing with.
So I guess the question I would have, being as it is the park, in our bids, is it advantageous, or I want to know it's not advantageous, but that we would request that the whole tree be removed? I mean, so that we don't have people coming up saying, boy, this looks like crap in the park because we got all the tops and everything, all the slash laying there.
We have not many options, for whole tree chipping, I mean, if Fink has bought sales. There's one out of Michigan that has in the past, but hasn't for years. So I don't know, even if they're in business anymore. So
I
it'd
mean, is
almost
that
be-
something that we could look at potentially, take an area right there by the, the pavilion, the tower, where the main part of the park is, and potentially use some of the stumpage money to have somebody come in and chip?
And we could grind it a little bit
Grind
too. Some of the part of whole tree though too is you got the hill,
Right.
and just the erosion part of things. There is some benefit of having some sticks and tops there to kind of slow that water down on the way down. I mean, when we cut the top, to see there's a big difference now. That rain hits and goes instead of hitting the trees and kind of going slow down. We've had more washouts that way too. So there's some benefit to having some of that tops, and you know, it doesn't look as great during leaf off times when it's, you know, November and whatever, but when it greens up and whatever, people look past it too, you know. And it's same thing. We have it Salberg, you know, the first little bit, people, oh my gosh, it's terrible. And then you stop hearing about it. It'll be the same thing. Big Falls was just cut. Yeah. We'll get some complaints there right away too, but to go through and, you know, could have somebody run through and chip some of the piles and whatever, and, you know, be a few $1,000 and try to do the high visibility spots maybe.
That's what I was talking about. I mean, maybe not the whole 130 acres, but right there around the pavilions where people will gather and, you know, have their little picnic things and hike up to the tower. I mean, maybe try and.
Do you have a wood chipper?
Well, we'll use the highway has the wood chippers, and we will use that on some projects too.
Do they have a skid steer with the brush head on it with a Fecon head or?
They rent that once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those do a nice job in them piles, you know, they knock them down, leave all the debris there yet. I know McCuskey just came through doing a bunch of power line stuff and
Mhm.
they do a pretty decent job, I think.
Can we convert that to a snowplow?
Hmm?
Can we convert it to a snowplow?
Well, that's why I brought up the skid steer. If we've got one or two sitting around that, you know. Anyway,
But yeah,
I was out by
kind of-
Lake of the Pines 2 weeks ago, and they're cutting the ash out there by the campground, and oh my gosh, does it look putrid. Who's ever doing it is not doing a very nice job.
Yeah, and I think that's something we're gonna have to, you know, in the contract we say about height of slash and that kind of thing. We'll also have to look at points of entry and how they're coming in and out of there. You know, that blacktop is not a thick layer of blacktop through there either. So there,
Whoever's doing the one out there, they dropped a tree on the dock for Lake of the Pines.
Mm.
And shattered the dock. So
yeah,
hopefully that won't happen.
well, it'll be one of our more high profile sales that we have ever had. Unfortunately, all my family lives around there. I'll really hear it, but that's okay.
you'll be retired by that
Yeah,
time.
well,
and
that's
you
true.
can
That's
blame
true.
us. That's all right.
Yeah.
How often does this track get done?
What's in?
The Timms Hill tract that you
Well,
have in front of
so we did do a thinning about, oh man, just before probably like 2011 or 10, somewhere in there. But that was just, it was off the beaten path. There was a small spot across the road and then some stuff on the west side, but not along the main road that was done. So kind of, and then the tower, we did that in like 15 or 16, something like that. So not often, you know, in that main stretch through there, nobody's touched that in a long time.
They cut right down in here. They cut over here on that side of the road, which,
That'd be a
well,
task.
I mean, like you say, we create a hazard if we let all that ash die and be standing there dead. So much as I don't like to do it, we got to do it. So I guess.
Yeah, we'll move forward. Yeah,
Move forward
we
with it.
probably won't get to marking it till snow melts, because up and down the hills you're on the ground too often. So
It's good training for elk hunting. All right, Steve Creek Dam update.
okay, so the plans are submitted. DNR came back and said, so part of the way the dike goes out, it's the way the new plan is, it's actually part of the dike is gonna be the town road going to N. So we had to get a road easement basically with town of Kennon to be able to maintain that level of the road itself in order to, you know, the DNR needs it to say, okay, yep, you guys have the right to be able to keep that elevation. So, Town of Kennon did approve that. The other thing that came up was some of the data that the DNR had taken was not, there's a seepage / stability analysis that needs to be taken. Well, they didn't do it at, the analysis wasn't done at the pool level or the elevation of the water that the dam is going to hold. So that has to be redone. So that Betcher Hoppy doesn't have that capability, so they're looking for another company. They went to that GI that did the work for the state, but I don't know. They're looking for somebody to do it. They had a couple options. They were kind of trying to find somebody to do. So that'll hold things up even more. So
So we can't even bid the project yet then?
no,
they
not
come
till it's approved by the
back,
DNR.
approved by the DNR.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
plan itself has to be. So
You sometimes wonder if the dragging of the feet isn't intentional.
they're very thorough on these dam removes or dam plans. It is what it is. So
Okay. Yeah, keep poking them. Cranberry Creek Dam.
so that one, the engineering, so that had to be completely redone instead of just because there was originally there was two different drawings and one had a different size pipe than the other one, and that really caused some problems, I guess. So had to re-engineer the whole thing. That is done. Plans were submitted. So the DNR's taking a look at those. They had a couple questions on some stuff about it. Structure should be pretty similar to what was there now, but cost of everything goes up. Of course, that pipe in 2018, I think we got a price on it was eight grand. I just got a new price and it was 22. So it's just the way of the world. So we'll see what DNR comes back with on where we're at as far as approval, I guess. So
Any questions about that one?
I got a question about the Steve Creek Dam. I just remembered the state was going to pay for that, correct? Was there a time frame that we had to?
so it was a enumeration in the budget, and I'm not sure on the ending on that. Usually on these, it was used like a dam grant. So pretty sure we're still within timeline then, but that's something I got to check on too, where we're at on that. Cause we're looking, it's not going to be till next summer. So
Yeah, my understanding is it's allocated to the DNR, so it's in their fund reserve
And then-
to allow the project to happen. So it's not, I mean, we have to be working on it, but it's not like if you don't
they're
finish
the ones
by,
holding it up, so
right.
I would think we would have an argument there.
the Cranberry Creek Dam grant that's like 5 years old right now. So
Joe, where did you get a price on a pipe for that one, or what size is the pipe?
yeah, from Wisconsin Flowgate was I just asked them for a quote is all just to see where we were sitting. So we'll be digging around on that to try to find prices in different people. Cause I did get a couple other places, I guess, that do it. So, we'll be looking around when we bid that out. So.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Smith Lake ATV Trail.
This is just another one that's coming out. So we did submit for a grant to replace the decking on the boardwalk last year. ORV Council, the state's ORV Council, basically they didn't fund it. So that trail is sitting closed right now. So we did last fall, I had the prison crew take that 2x6 decking off what happened was the decking, the 2x6 decking rotted or whatever, and somebody plunged through it with their machine or broke off. And so anyways, that's been closed for over a year now. So we'll be taking that, put another grant request in, hopefully get the funding for it. We're going to replace it with 3-inch decking. That's what it's supposed to have, not 2x6. So we'll replace some of the 6x6s underneath there, maybe add another 2 on each side just to fortify it better. And then we'll put the 3-inch on top. So,
How long is that one, Joe?
there's 3 different ones. There's one with a little bridge on it, and I don't remember the exact lengths of it. I'm guessing it's going to be about, by the time you buy the material and fasteners and everything, it'll be around 45,000. So
Where does the guy get 3-inch lumber?
you special order it. Viewers will make it if you special order it. Otherwise, the last time we got some southern yellow pine that treated from.
Okay.
So it's not overly cheap.
No.
We bought some 3x12 treated timbers through the hardware store recently. I think it comes out of Duluth, I thought they said.
Through the hardware store, you said?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they're 3x12 by 14 footers is what we got.
Hmm.
They were $53 a piece, I think.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
That's not that terrible,
I didn't
really.
think so either.
No. No.
No, not really, and they're pretty stout actually.
Just rough cut, so they
Yeah,
don't
they're
have
rough
to be.
fun.
Okay. So you're still working on that grant for that then, so.
Yeah, that's due in April here, so we'll be putting that in. And those ATV grants, there's no match from the county. That's just a straight from the program registration dollars.
Sounds good. Okay, 13, carbon credit update.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about it. So we've been, Anu has been keeping us in the loop of kind of where we're at. Recently, our project has been audited, completed, and put up for sale. We know sales are still happening. We're hearing about them around us. But at this point, we're just hopefully, every time we talk to them, it's about 3 to 6 months once the project is for sale. So we are out for sale. We're ready to go. All the paperwork has been signed and ready to go.
Okay. Any other discussion about carbon credits?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How does that sale work? Is it like a buying stock? What
Yeah, it's
sets,
like-
how does this price set?
Yeah, so my understanding is I wouldn't call it an auction site, but kind of like that. They're put up and companies, it's supply and demand, what's available. My understanding is the market's between that $20 and $26 per credit right now. It was at $8 when we first started this project a couple of years ago. So overall, it has gone up.
So the companies buy
maintained.
them, see them listed on a market somewhere?
Yep, there's
And then they
a-
put in an offer?
Yeah, and a lot of times it's pre-contract. So again, I'm not sure how everything in the background works, but the way they described it is they have buyers that are interested. They'll either know they want a specific type of project. Like ours is a rural, large scale. Joe had to describe our project, right? So then the buyers will see these descriptions and then they'll go, "Oh, I want that type of sale," rather than a waste management facility that's off gassing, that's whatever, you're buying a different type of credit. So we're an attractive, like, ooh, this is a green space with lots of wildlife and trails and blah blah blah. So they'll see these advertised kind of like a real estate sale, but also they have buyers that are large scale buyers and say, I want you to guarantee me 100,000 credits at whatever price. Will you buy this contract? So it's like a pork contract or a beef, pre-buy.
Features.
Yeah, you're raising this for me, and then I'll pre-buy it at this rate. When it's available, I auto buy on my contract. So a couple different ways the market works, but it's large buyers say, I need this to save or to offset.
Thank you.
Jason,
What?
I put this on here for you.
I brought a resolution forward, not a discussion.
We're having a discussion whether we need a resolution. Do we need a
I brought a
resolution?
resolution forward. These nonprofits can get on our agenda, but I can't.
It's on the agenda to discuss. If there's a resolution you would like to bring forward,
You have it.
this committee will decide whether or not there's a resolution needed to bring forward.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Okay, do you have a copy of it here?
No,
Does the rest of the committee have a copy?
nope,
Okay, is it something you would like to bring forward?
absolutely.
Would you like to discuss your reasons for that?
Yes, put it on the next agenda.
Well, so I guess it should be discussed at this committee to bring a resolution forward.
Well, I'm a supervisor. I have a right to get a resolution to the committee. I'm not talking about unless there's a resolution here. It's
Okay. Department update, financial report.
Okay, I did include bid results in your packet from a couple different things. All includes some gravel. That Blueberry Block gravel project was that sustainable forestry grant, and then I also bid out for some on Old 13. Kind of we're going to be doing some timber sale, and we have done some planting there or whatever as well. So that material is just coming from the pit on Menthal's farm. Pit toilets at Big Falls, Huff Cut was the one again. So those, they put those into production. Not exactly sure on the timeline on that as far as when they're actually going to be ready to go. So might be either real late this year or else it'll be early next year. So we did cut out around those toilets as well, so we can actually get them installed. We'll have to do a little bit of work to be able to get the crane there to be able to actually set them. So we did cut the trees, but we got to do some graveling and whatever so they don't sink out of sight. So
Joe, I guess I got a question about the bid stuff.
yeah,
We kind of went through, had a little issue with bidding with Fort or Highway last week, and I got some questions on that for Nick for a later time. But if the bid was received late, why is it even put on here?
just to show that we received it.
Yeah,
That's all. I mean, but in the future we can take it off there too, but
Sure.
just showing that it's here, you know.
How late?
It doesn't matter. It was
Just
after a
curious.
day or two. I don't even remember.
I mean,
now, but-
because the mail sucks.
This one might have been. Yeah, I don't know.
Just
Yeah,
curious,
and that's
like-
why it's clarified in the bid packets that.
Does
that
it go off
has
of
to
the
be
Received, or is it based off
hand-
of when
in
it's
hand.
stamped
in hand.
in hand?
Yep, and it says that in the bid packets that, we recommend you drop it off or email or.
Yeah, and I think this guy even called and said they're going to be late. So
Oh, okay.
For what it's worth, I think what you did is the right way to do it to maintain transparency, letting them know we received the bid and the reason why it wasn't qualified or accepted.
and then the last one was some concrete for around some buildings out there at the addition there in Salzburg, and a slab as well for a small pavilion. So. And then so Big Falls, like I said, we got the timber sale went. We'll be doing some cleanup there. We'll be doing some work around some of those sites. We kind of cleared some trees a little bit, but also we'll just to make them so they're a little more usable. Some of those you could fit a vehicle in, and that was about it. And so just opened it up a little bit so we get easier to maintain and a little more airflow was the thought process. So that'll be a little bit of work. The lighting part of that grant, I'm working with the electrician to get some options for us as well, to buy for basically nightlight type deal out there. So, Steve Creek Range, the club did write the check, the $10,000 check for the range. So that'll be a project we'll be kind of starting as well. A little bit of work this summer on that. For Sahlberg to finish that up, we got internet. They didn't get that put in last fall. They'll be looking to do it this spring. The play equipment, that guy is supposed to put it in here. If it would have been good weather this week, you'd have done it. But so it'll be in the next month. I'm guessing he's going to put that in. Got all the material there for the ADA surface for the walking trail. We'll be spreading that out. Pickleball court, the courts out there just got to be put together. Let's see, final inspections, electrical. They got to get there. They had a couple compliance things they had to finish up, basically, and then with that cap, I'm meeting with her in about a month. See, blacktop, they got the second layer of that's got to go on. And then we'll finish up that pavilion as well. So and with that all, it's, they'll tear up more grass and whatever. So we'll be, reseeding and doing that as well. So reservations for that, we have gotten a couple. We kicked it back to May 21st is the first that they could do it. And just give us a little more time to get some of this other stuff done, to not have people in there as much, to work around. So
You're saying we do have a couple. Are they short-term, long-term?
I don't even remember at this point. I don't remember if we had them 1 month. I think somebody did a month-long one. The couple people were really concerned when that came open that it was going to fill up too fast. And I said, I don't know if you know our.
So how about on the other side of the road? Are we getting good participation there as far as?
I haven't even looked, to tell you the truth, where we're at on last year. If you look, Carrie did all the reports, and we were about on par for, money wise with what we were. So, do get comments that, there's both ways, but a lot of people like having the reservation, or that be an option. The ATV trail out there, that's almost ready to go. We have a couple of stumps to pop out, and then I ordered signs the other day. Club's going to help sign that. The ATV club that helps maintain the trails out there. They said they would assist in that. So that should be open before too long as well. Concrete Park, we had those little roofs on above some of the statues. We did order that material. The Friends of Fred Smith is paying for the materials. Other than that, it's been a lot of maintenance on equipment and timber sales as far as administration and setting up new ones. So.
So I see we got some of the financials here.
Yeah, so in your packet, you should have a financial, or not financial, but like a year-end report on how the parks did. We do a full year report for 2025. The profits this year were 70,428 for all our parks together. But then we do break it down by park, so you can see which parks are doing what. And like Joe said, I think the total revenues for Solberg were 128 last year. They were 129, or 2 years ago, they were 128. Last year, they were 129. The reason that there's a larger profit is because Joe did $23,000 less in expenses out there. So whether that was some maintenance items, there's always going to be expenses, but there's also years where you put a new roof on something, or you do extra, I think, 2 years ago.
It is misleading too. The Concrete Park one that shows that big expense in there. Some of that's the with a tree fall on the statues.
Yeah.
So then you have that expense, but it doesn't show,
The
the
insurance pays for
insurance
that.
doesn't
Yeah.
show income offsetting that. So it just shows expense on there too. So that kind of
Yeah, we'll fix it. We
throws
can-
that off a little bit as far as just what, it just cause that comes out of the budget and then that's put in there, just not put as, it's put in a different line item or whatever. So it's just not gathered up.
Yeah, and
in
we
there.
can adjust for that because it's just a timing thing of when
Yeah.
that insurance comes in. But that's a good point. It's not that concrete park is a big loss for when we have insurance things. Now we do a lot of projects out there too, so those are also included. But it's just a nice breakdown if you want to see kind of in general the history of each park and kind of what's gone up and down. When some of our max was, for example, Smith Lake was down $2,000 this year, but it had more profits just because there was less expense overall. The other one was the stumpage that's in there. Just
Joe, I had a
gives you-
question on timber sales.
Yeah.
How many active do we have and whatnot? And then I questioned Jeff about this a couple weeks ago because I was down 111. I seen they were coming out of Herban Road. Is that something like we could take a tour, or like as a board member, are we allowed to swing into a job just to see what kind of work they're doing, type thing? So
the one down on Herban was we had an access agreement through private. So that's, private land, and that's for, I'm sure we could probably get, permission for a board member to go through, but it's, it's not for the public to just be able to drive through on, 'cause it is private access. And it's really nice when people do allow us to go through because we don't pay anything for it. We'll go in and, make sure we touch up his trail and reseed it if it needs to be reseeded, kind of thing. But, so something like that, that's kind of one of those deals where we'd have to touch base with landowner before we're taking anybody else in there. But on a typical sale, there's really not a big issue that way if you want to see what a person's doing. So
sure.
So
I was
one of
just
the
curious.
things,
I've seen a lot of trucks coming out of there, and I just took a ride down there and kind of turned around on the field and seen where they're heading there, and it's like, oh, that must be going into the north side of all of our stuff. And I was just curious.
yeah, that was an old sale. There finally was a market to get rid of tamaracks, so they cut that tamarack swamp, and that was a lot of volume came out of there.
so one of the things that Jordan and I were talking about, the highway department goes out and does a road tour, and I thought that maybe it would be a good idea for the forestry department to go out and, whether it's, when the guys are out replanting one of our red pines that we're replanting, or go out and visit a sale when it's on one of our properties. Yeah.
We do a lot of work at the parks, so
Yeah.
you could do a Solberg and a timber sale what it looks like, because a lot of board members don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the last one we did was
Before I was here.
7 or 8 years ago, probably.
Before I was here,
Yeah.
we rode the Pine Line Trail.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was the last forestry and parks thing that I can remember
Yeah.
doing.
Oh, and Jordan, for the timber sales right now, there's really zero active just because roads posted, and there's still wood on jobs that has to be hauled and whatever. So, they're semi active, but they're not actually active, if that makes sense.
Sure. Thanks.
Okay, anything else for Joel? Hearing nothing. Vouchers all went around. Did everybody get to see them except Jordan?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the vouchers.
Second.
Second by Patty. Any other discussion on them? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Opposed? They're approved. We are adjourned.